back to the channel. My name is Amy, and we are getting on the highway again. I wanted to talk today, well, not gonna be much talking right now, but there you go. Today about the Ninja ZX14R. So I have this is a 2017, right? And there it goes. You know, and I kind of wanted to just like give my thoughts about having this bike for 3 years now. So it's literally been 3 years this month, and it's like a funny story about that too. And I really wanted it in green with the Brocs, with the flash, and I was like really specific about all these things that, you know, were a must for me. Okay. So yeah, I had all these specific requirements for it, and I was like, I'm gonna find the perfect bike, and I did. And it was in Missouri, and I lived in Florida, and I trailered an empty trailer all the way to Missouri to pick it up, took it back to Florida, and then 2 years later I moved to Missouri, which is kind of funny. But anyways, I've had this bike the longest out of all the bikes I've owned, which is now 6 bikes. You know what? I'm sorry. Probably some wind noise. I don't care. I don't think it's too bad at 45. Yeah, I've had six bikes, and they include my dirt bike, which I do. And this bike has just been the most fun, the most comfortable. Like, if you've been riding for a little while, you know, and you're kind of looking for that bike that you want to keep for a long time, like, this is it. Like, I have yet to get tired of this bike. You know, I do miss having multiple bikes to ride. You know, I've had 3 at a time with my dirt bike, and having like the Busa and this bike, and before the Busa I had a Gixxer 750 and this bike. And you know, I miss having multiple bikes, like, don't get me wrong, that's fun, but I've never been like bored with this bike. You know, every other bike I've owned, I felt like I got bored with. And like, even the Busa, like, I had the 3rd gen, it was great, it was nice. It just wasn't like unique enough to make me want to keep it over this bike. This bike has way more like character. And you know, I had the Busa flashed and tuned. I put the full exhaust on it with Voodoo. You know, so it was like I put in the mods similarly. And I was just like, I don't know, it's a fun bike, but it's just not like, it's just lacking character, I think. Maybe the old gen would have been better, like a 2nd gen Busa. I've talked about it on the channel before that I've considered buying a 2nd gen. At this point, that's kind of like on the back burner, especially moving and stuff. Like right now, it's just not an option for me. But eventually, I think I would want a Yamaha R1. I've never owned Yamaha. I really love the cross-plane engine sound, and to me that just seems like, you know, something different, which is kind of what I'm like looking for next for a second bike. But anyways, this bike, you know, it's plenty fast. I've heard people say, like, you know, of course it's fast out of the box, right? Like, I never owned it like in stock form, so I can't really speak on it. But I would say, like, you know, you're definitely gonna feel like you got your money's worth in the speed department, regardless if you flash and tune and do all the fun stuff. I think that for a lot of people, you know, it's gonna behoove you to do it, because it's just gonna perform better. So get it flash, get it tuned, get your exhaust on here. I mean, we all know how quiet the stock exhausts are, and if that's your thing, okay, go for it. But I think most people would prefer a nice throaty sound. Where am I going? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm actually going to get my hair cut. Is it still in it? Oh no, it's not America. Been here before. I'm just like, which turn is it? But yeah, this bike, it's just, you know, you could tour on it. You can put up the I got the bag on mine. You can kind of see it in the mirror. You can put the riser thing in the back where you can have extra bags. You can have a nice mount here on the tank. I've got actually a magnetic tank bag that I use if I need extra storage, and that's pretty nice to have. It's a versatile bike, you know. You can, like I said, take it on trips. You can do fun runs. Just want to putz around town. It's I don't know. I feel like there's just so many good things about this bike. It's got lots going for it, right? But anyways, you know, I think whatever most people are looking for in a sport bike or a sport bike hybrid, that they're gonna find it in this bike. It's just one of those things. Okay, I'm like here super early. Let's just ride around here for a minute. I don't know why I left my house so early, but check it out around here. This is Sunset Station, right? Okay, shut up. Just kind of cruising around. Do a little walk around the bike here in a sec, since it's not too hot. Is there shade? Looking for some shade. So all we got is palm trees around here. They don't produce a lot of shade. But yeah, fantastic bike to own. Like, you cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong with this bike. And mine's lowered, you know, it just makes it more comfortable for me. It's a heavy bike. So like, okay, so when people talk about the ZX14R as like, you know, should I get this as a beginner bike? Absolutely not. But I would say not for the reasons that you think. I will say it's because of the weight of the bike. When you first start riding, like, oh my gosh, that was one of the challenges for me, was to figure out the weight thing with maneuvering, managing, you know, running around on a bike. Like, that was, ooh, you know, I was like, wow, this feels like just a beginner bike felt heavy, right? So learning to manage that weight, you know, is one of the reasons I would say this should not be your beginner bike, right? And I think it's, you know, there's these few exceptions of people who are like, yeah, I started on a Busa, I started on a ZX14, I'm fine. And like, yeah, you're the exception, right? Like, all the other people that started, you know, you probably would hear of a lot more of them, but they didn't keep riding. So we don't really know how many people, right, can handle such a bike. It's not going to be a lot. get off this thing. Oh yeah, we found some shade. Yeah, this is not a beginner bike, but like I said, not for the reasons that you would think. It's more for the reasons of weight. It's big. You know, you have to get used to it. I will say that this bike feels way more comfortable, like riding on the highway, riding in town, because I feel like the bigger bike makes you more noticeable, gives you more displacement on the road. Like if you're on a little skinny freaking Gixxer or something, you know, it's like, or an R6, it's like, you know, especially if you're a big dude, like you got this little skinny bike under you. And I mean, look at the berth on this thing. Look at the front end. Like that's beast, right? That's a wide sport bike, and people are always like amazed that I'm like 120 pounds and I'm riding this thing. I'm 5'6", so I can flat foot it only because it's lowered. I think it's lowered 2 inches on mine. So, but yeah, like, golly, such a great bike. 3 years, right? I did a review. You can go back on my channel. I did a review after 1 year, and I would say everything I said in that video, still the case. You know, the only things I've had to do is just normal maintenance stuff, right? I think I did air filter since then, maybe plugs, you know, oil changes, nothing crazy. This bike has totally been solid, and I have not encountered any weird stuff with it. It's just been a great running bike. I think too, you know, I was blessed to find one with low miles. It was, I bought it in 21, it was a 2017, and it was 3,800 miles on it, I think, when I got it. I think we're up to like 18 something now. I did not actually do the, well, I don't know if it's necessarily recommended by Kawasaki, but I feel like every other manual tells you to check your, what is it, that you check at the, that 15,000 mile mark, you know, make sure that the engine, whatever the heck that check is. I'll think of it right after I finish this video. But I didn't do it. You know, I always listen to the bike. If I hear any weird noises in the engine, of course I would get it checked out. No knocking, no pinging. I've just started running 91 on this bike. I'd been previously running only 93 octane, and you know, so far so good. It's only on its like first full tank of 91 though. But out here in Nevada, you don't get 93. I don't know. I've yet to find it. I've heard it's a elevation issue, that they don't offer, you know, other higher octanes. So it's just a great bike, guys. Like seriously, you'll be on the highway and you'll be like, oh, what? 90? I feel like I'm doing 65. You know, it's super easy to like, check out my Style Martins here. Fix my laces. It's really smooth. It's like, okay, so of course mine's stretched, right? So I would say it's even smoother, and being lowered and strapped in the front, I think that plays a part in the ride itself, in terms of smooth and in terms of just feeling like you're planted on the road. You know, I've sat on the stock bike and it does feel like it's just too tall, right? I don't know. I feel like when you're low to the ground, it's going to be a more comfortable ride. I don't know. It's like, remember back in the day, the station wagons people had and how long they were? Like a longer wheelbase, more comfortable ride. Like I would hit potholes and ruts in the road on my Gixxer 600 or my Gixxer 750, and it was like, you know, feel like you're gonna freaking fall off the bike. This bike, you don't feel that. So I think the longer wheelbase is a definite plus. But yeah, so it's just been totally solid. Like I can't even, other than the handful of maintenance items, like, you know, I had oil change not too long ago. I keep the chain clean. I use paste, Motul paste. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. That stuff's really good. It's like this white glue licking stuff. Let's see if we can see it. probably gonna need to redo it soon. Oh, it's still pretty tacky. So yeah, it sticks to your chain, right? So normally use those cheap sprays, and they, as soon as you put it on, right, it flings all over your tire, flings up underneath the bike. This stuff sticks, and it's really good for the chain. One of the shops I used to take my other bikes to get fixed at, he recommended getting this paste, and I've been, to different dealerships and stuff and had service work done. It's like some of them use it, some of them don't. Some of them put the cheap crap, some of them use the good stuff. Highly recommend Motul chain paste. So yeah, guys, that's really all I got for you. Got to do a few things on here with fixing this. I mentioned this in the last video. It's driving me crazy. I should probably just take them off, but then it's going to look funny. I just need to figure out a clear adhesive, right, to get this to stick back on. I really don't want to have to rebuy these and redo it. I mean, the stomp grips, in terms of like the use, it's actually really good. I just wish that this had stayed on. I think it's just because the bike gets hot, These eventually, like, they're so thin, right? There's hardly any heat. There's no adhesive left here. Alright, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. 3-year quick review of the 2017 Kawasaki Ninja ZX14R. Let me see, because it's been a couple years. I haven't done any newer mods, but I'll just kind of quickly review what it has. So, not too long ago, I had found out it has a Power Commander 5. It's been flashed and tuned by Don Gould. It's strapped. It's lowered 2 inches, stretched 8 inches with the extensions, full system Brock's exhaust, Alien Head 2. I upgraded the chain and sprocket. Don't ask me which brand. One of the well-known ones. Let's see if it says it. Vortex? I think it's Vortex. Yeah. And I forget the chain. Yeah, you guys might know. There's only a handful of chains that can go out this far, so it's one of those. What else? Well, I had the wheel decals done. I added the windscreen, zero gravity. This has held up really nice. Every so often I tighten the bolts down here. And what else? I mean, I added the little phone mount, tank bag, the grips. Yeah, performance-wise though, I gave you guys the full rundown. So, all right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you want to see more, and I'll see you on the next one.